First up in our roundup this morning, a story drawing a lot of controversy. The student government at the University of Wisconsin-Madison believes black students should be offered free tuition and housing. They say it's because they were barred from education during slavery and the school remains out of reach for black students today. The Associated Students of Madison said in a resolution that suburban high school students are overrepresented. The group said consideration of ACT and SAT scores in applications upholds white supremacy because it restricts opportunities for the poor. So that's our topic this half hour. As always, we like to hear from you on our Fox 26 Facebook page. You can also send me a tweet at Sally Mack, Fox 26. Joining us live in our studio is our Fox 26 senior legal analyst, Chris Tritico. We have Republican strategist and public policy analyst, Jackie Bally, and Jerry Bernberg, former Harris County Democratic Party chair. He is in for Mustafa today. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
So what do you think about this? The school came out and said they do not support this at all.
Well, they said they don't support it, but they also agreed with some initiatives to do something for African-American students. And in fact, the president of the university said that he would support 1 year of free tuition for a certain segment of African-Americans transferring from two-year colleges if the legislature appropriated funds for that, Jackie. So while he said he didn't support it, he did say, I'll do something.
Because the implication is that if you're African American, you're not as smart as a white student, or you're not as smart as the suburban students, and you're not capable of getting in there on your own.
Is that what they said?
That's the implication. They're saying we have to look at the ACT and the SAT scores because black people score less than that because they're not in the suburban environment. You know, you have sons like people like my son. He's in the top 1% of his class. He scored very well on SAT and ACT. He would be insulted if they came to him and said, because you're a black student, we're going to go ahead and give you this free ride because you're not capable of getting in here by yourself, even though he is.
Is that what they were saying?
No. First off, by the way, you're not going to find anybody more supportive of both affirmative action and of diversity on the college campus than me. That having been said, I must tell you that what the students were seeking to get in Wisconsin is clearly unconstitutional and cannot possibly.
It is not going to happen.
It is not going to. And let me make this point too. Wisconsin, of all places, when Wisconsin was part of the Northwest Territory before the Constitution was adopted. Slavery was prohibited in Wisconsin. When Wisconsin was admitted to the Union in 1848, it was admitted only on the proviso that there could never be slavery there. When slaves were brought into Wisconsin, they automatically became free. So Wisconsin was one of the very first states to grant suffrage.
So maybe they need better history teaching in Wisconsin.
Not only that, I like the fact that they are looking at inclusion of diversities. That's what they should look at in their classes and in their classrooms, instead of saying, let's just have a free ride for black people.
Is this a statement about inclusion, and is it a statement about what we've been doing with repression? I mean, is that really what these students are trying to say?
I think they were trying to do both, but they went about it the way you said it. It's not legal, and it's very insulting because, again, the full statement had talked about SAT and ACT scores and
But isn't there some truth to that statement? Isn't there some truth to the statement the kids are making, that if you look at the ACT and the SAT scores nationwide, that African Americans do score lower?
Which is why here's what they can do, Chris.
I think if you look at you have to go inside of the home. Again, I can only use my son as an example. There's not one white person. Is doing well. There's not one white person ahead of him. So for people to say African Americans, because of our culture or because of how we are, we're going to automatically score lower, that's not true.
Well, it is true that African Americans have been historically denied the same educational opportunities, and they are underrepresented at the University of Wisconsin. Wisconsin wants to know what to do about it. Come take a look at what the University of Texas has done about it, and the Supreme Court says is okay.
Let me go to Sally. She's monitoring our social media.
All right, let's take a look at Twitter right now. We'll pull up some tweets for you. The first one coming from UW-Madison. UW supports a diverse student body, but not the student government's tuition proposal. You can go to their Twitter at UW-Madison if you want to see a link to the full statement. It's pretty lengthy. Take it from Tia. Good morning, Tia. She's up early with us. She says slavery has nothing to do with college enrollment. Academic performance writes your ticket, but she also goes on to say that she believes the UW response was poorly written. Christian says, why won't it be discrimination to other races? And then Coach Cam says, I demand a free car, a free life insurance policy, a free home, free food, free season tickets to Dodger Stadium, and a free Rolex. So that's, we saw a lot of those tweets out there saying the same type of thing there. How would this be paid for, though? It sounds sounds like some of the donations that are made to the university, those would go toward this.
They talked about an endowment.
Well, the university said that they would look at 1 year of free college to certain African Americans, but I still think that would be unlawful too, if the legislature funded it and they have a $10 million endowment. But I'm going to ask you this. The college said that African students of color, they didn't say what that meant, has up from 11 to 15% over the last decade. Where does that fall with respect to the overall population?
Well, first of all, that's with regard to the entire state. At the University of Wisconsin, it's only 2% minority students in the student body there. And by the way, let me clarify something for the record. What the college is offering is 2 years of tuition free for anybody transferring from a 2-year college.
With less than 30 seconds.
I'd like to go back to what one of our viewers said. If they actually were to do this, that is only going to cause even more discrimination.
I agree with that.
Because if the other students on the campus who are not black know that a black person got there just because of the color of their skin, that is not promoting racial harmony. That is not promoting inclusion.
I think Jerry's talking about an overall program.
Yeah, that's correct. And by the way, oh yes, right, the University of Texas has a program that includes affirmative action to increase minority participation, and the U.S. Supreme Court has upheld
But it's not a blanket. It's not a blanket, open blanket that says if you're a black person, you get to come in.
We're going to leave it right
Your
there.
merit has to count.
All right, we're going to leave it right there. We've been talking about free tuition all over the country, and a way to fund that is the really difficult problem.
Yeah.
Scott Walker's been talking about, actually in Wisconsin, reducing the cost of college education all over the state. I wish our legislators would look at that right now. We're going to leave it right there. We'll be back in about 20 minutes with another really good topic.
All right, we'll see you guys then. We're going to send it to Lisa.